The imperial palace of Thryxis was a place of steel spires, resonant halls, and silent terror. Courtiers and warriors alike feared crossing the alien queen, HFY, whose eyes glowed with a molten fire. Yet, in the shadows of her throne room, a problem gnawed at her patience far worse than scheming rivals or rebellious provinces. Her children, the twins, Koresh and Yira, were not ordinary royal offspring. They were half-grown bundles of claws, shrieking lungs, and razor-sharp teeth. Dozens of hand-picked nannies, warriors, and tutors had attempted to tame them. All had failed. Some were dismissed, others fled, and a few were sent to the med bays in bloody tatters. No one lasted more than 3 days. Then came the janitor. Ethan Cole was not meant to be anywhere near the royal nursery. He was a human custodian, one of many low-value labor imports shipped to the Empire after humanity's reluctant peace treaty. His job was simple: mop corridors, clean slime pits, and keep his head down. Humans were tolerated, not respected. But fate had a twisted sense of humor. One evening, while scrubbing acid stains from the polished obsidian floors, Ethan heard the twins screaming. The sound was not just loud, it was piercing, the kind that rattled bones and vibrated teeth. Servants rushed past, panicked, trying to appease the untamable heirs. Through the open doors, Ethan glimpsed chaos. Shattered toys, shredded garments, guards retreating from two small but feral figures. The twins hurled food, screeched, and leapt at anything that moved. Another nanny quit. One courtier whispered in despair, "The queen will destroy us all when she hears." Ethan sighed. Back on Earth, before the war, he'd worked nights at a foster home, keeping wild kids company when no one else had the patience. These alien brats? They were much different, just sharper teeth. He set his mop aside, ducked past the terrified staff, and stepped into the nursery. The twins froze, not because of fear, but confusion. Here was no armored warrior, no trembling tutor, just a human in gray overalls holding a rag. Ethan looked at them with the same tired, unimpressed expression he once gave Earth's troublemakers. "All right," he said, voice steady. "You two done screaming yet? Or do I need to outshout you?" Koresh bared his fangs. Yura hissed, wings half flared. Ethan crossed his arms and raised his voice, louder than theirs. "Hey, cut it out." The palace walls shook. The twins blinked, stunned. No one had ever dared bark at them. Then Ethan did something unthinkable. He plopped down on the floor. "Listen, monsters, you want to break stuff? Fine, but you clean up after yourselves. Otherwise, no story time." The twins exchanged a baffled look. Story time? That night, instead of shrieks, muffled laughter echoed from the nursery. Ethan told them an old human folk tale, exaggerating voices and sound effects until the heirs clutched their sides. By the next morning, the impossible had happened. The alien queen's twins had slept through the night. Word spread like wildfire. Guards whispered. Courtiers gawked. When Queen Sarashar arrived, expecting disaster, she instead found her offspring sitting cross-legged, listening intently to Ethan as he carved animal shapes out of discarded packing foam. The queen's molten eyes narrowed. "Human, what sorcery is this?" Ethan shrugged. "No sorcery, your majesty. Just patience. Kids are kids." Her jaw clenched. She could command fleets, conquer star systems, but nothing had subdued her children. And yet here stood a janitor, calm as still water, with both heirs hanging on his every word. She decided to test him. "Very well," she hissed. "If you can keep them alive and disciplined for 30 cycles, you shall be rewarded. Fail, and I will grind your bones myself." Ethan only smirked. "Deal. But fair warning, kids bite. I bite back." 30 cycles turned into 60. 60 became a full year. Under Ethan's watch, the twins grew, not just in strength, but in discipline. He taught them games that rewarded teamwork, gave them chores to burn off endless energy, and spun human stories that slipped in lessons about loyalty, fairness, and restraint. When Koresh grew angry, Ethan handed him a bucket and ordered, "Scrub the floor until you calm down." When Yira tested her fangs on servants, Ethan snarled, "We don't chew people. Chew this rope instead. The palace staff, once terrified, began to relax. The heirs who once terrorized their halls were still mischievous, but manageable, and strangely gentler. The queen noticed it too. One evening, she summoned Ethan privately. Her voice, though sharp, carried something rare: uncertainty. You have done the impossible. My offspring respect you. They laugh with you. Even I cannot command such obedience. Ethan cleaned his mop, unbothered. That's because I don't command them. I listen. HFY studied him for a long time. At last, she inclined her head, the slightest bow from a ruler who bowed to no one. Perhaps humanity is not as weak as I believed. Years later, when Koresh and Yira ascended as co-heirs of the Empire, they carried with them more than royal blood. They carried human stories, human humor, and a fierce loyalty to the strange janitor who had raised them. And when the galaxy asked how the mighty heirs of Thryxis had been tamed, the answer passed in hushed, incredulous tones. Not by warriors, not by scholars, not by fear, but by a human janitor who did the impossible.